Hello Nintendorks, this is Jacoby. I'm doing the Mark Out with Your Shark Out Challenge Part 1, starting with breakfast. As you may know, I live in Canada where Dunkin' Donuts are not plentiful, so I've had to improvise a little bit. So rather than Dunkin' Donuts, I've gone to Tim Hortons to get calorically equivalent foods to what our pal Mark has eaten. The math I did to get the calories all came from Tim Hortons' own website, so if anyone wants to contest what I'm eating, they can go to that website and just double check my math. So Mark ate a bacon, egg, cheese croissant sandwich, so to get to that I will be eating, 2 English muffin with egg and cheese and bacon. Whereas Mark ate 1 apple fritter, I will be eating 2 apple strudels. And Mark's 6-piece hash brown, which was inexplicably 130 calories, is just a single hash brown at Tim Hortons. Alright, so you have to watch me eat this, and I'm going to be trying to eat it as quickly as possible, so I'm not going to be giving you much of an interesting commentary. So I'm going to be watching a documentary on raccoons, so maybe you can listen to that while I'm eating. So, okay. Sandwich number 1.
Help everyone explore new worlds and ideas. Support your PBS station.
Gross.
When the lights go down in cities across North America, another world is revealed. An underworld populated by shady characters that live alongside us but exist in the margins. We think of them as little garbage cans. We think we know them.
There's many things about raccoon behavior that we just don't understand. What we know is just the tip of the iceberg.
With special cameras, we enter the hidden, intimate world of a young raccoon family to see how this raccoon mother's careful teaching transforms her helpless kits into self-reliant scavengers, able to defy the dangers of big city life. Urban raccoon populations are exploding, and city life is changing raccoons in some remarkable ways.
We were very close to him. We're going to loop back around again and see if maybe he's not poking his head out in between some houses.
Stan Garrett is a wildlife biologist and one of the world's foremost experts on raccoon behavior. He's been tracking these animals for over 25 years, and they never cease to amaze him.
One of the things that's become very clear is they have this wide repertoire that allows them to be so successful, but also makes it a challenge for us to try and capture all of that and understand it. So in other words, you and I might study raccoons for a whole year, and we may see 4 or 5 types of behavior. That may not get us anywhere to understanding what raccoons are doing in another part of the state, or just across
Awful sandwich number 1 down.
or in another person's yard. Their behavior is still really a mystery to us. The one thing that raccoons need, that they require, that they can't escape from, is water.
Originally, raccoons lived in the tropics, where they could be found foraging along riverbanks. Over time, they moved north up the continent, successfully adapting to new territories and expanding their diet. Traditionally, they live in tree cavities or burrows, emerging at dusk to hunt frogs and crustaceans while keeping an eye out for predators such as coyotes and foxes. Barns have aided their northern migration, offering refuge from cold northern winters. Now, raccoons have been found as far north as Alaska. As raccoons spread across North America, many moved into cities. And not just any city, but big cities like Chicago, New York, and Toronto, the raccoon capital of the world. Raccoons thrive alongside us in a parallel world, which our special night vision cameras will reveal for the first time. In terms of behavior, country and city raccoons have adapted into two very different creatures. Where shy, reclusive country raccoons retreat from urban sprawl, bold city raccoons amble towards it. There are now 50 times more raccoons living in Toronto than in the same area in the surrounding countryside. So the question is, are we encroaching on raccoon territory, or are they encroaching on us?
Cities are new environments for any wild species. No wild species evolved to live in cities. The only animals that live in cities are the ones that are extremely flexible and able to take advantage of those novel environments.
I think raccoons are a perfect match for cities. Unlike other animals like foxes and coyotes that live on the edges of cities, raccoons have the ability to come into the city because they have those great hands. They can open up doors, they can get into attics, they can get into small spaces. In cities around the world, wherever they've been introduced, they do really, really well.
Sandwich number 2 done.
There's a number of different traits that raccoons have that enables them to be readily adapted to and pre-adapted to the urban environment. In comparison to, say, other carnivores like wolves or bears, they're much, much smaller in body size, so they can actually fit into an urban environment a lot easier. In addition to that, they're omnivorous.
They can eat anything. And the same thing for us. We can eat anything. It makes us able to rule the world because we can find food anywhere.
More than almost any other mammal, raccoons will quickly become dumpster divers. They will key in on trash cans or garbage bags. Then they're going to spend a lot of their time simply looking for those kinds of items. It's going to change their behavior. It's going to change their whole physiology.
And city life may even be changing the way they think.
There's a commonly held belief that changes in the behavior of a species as it's evolving then drive further changes in the brain. It's quite possible that moving into the urban environments is actually creating technically smarter raccoons.
Life in the city could be sending raccoons down a new evolutionary path.
It could have dramatic impacts on the species because it is such a change, moving from the system that they evolved under to this completely artificial system.
Okay, apple strudel, number 1.
I'm not sure what the ultimate outcome is going to be. It is an experiment, an unplanned experiment that's going on right now.
Okay.
Scientists know very little about how raccoons survive in a bustling city. 2 Canadian biologists are trying to unravel this mystery. Marc Dupuis-Desormeaux and Suzanne MacDonald are embarking on a groundbreaking new study that will track the precise movements, habits, and predilections of raccoons in one of North America's busiest cities, Toronto.
Well, all the traps are for us to find out the secret lives of raccoons so that we can figure out what are they doing at night. The traps are to catch the raccoons so that we can put a radio collar on them so that we can find out where they go.
There's been all kinds of studies where people get a GPS marking every 3 hours or 5 hours, but we're going to get some very, very fine data. And that's something that hasn't been done before.
Their plan is to trap and put radio collars on raccoons in 3 different neighborhoods spread across the city. The collars will register a GPS location every 5 to 15 minutes and give the scientists a roadmap to raccoon travels, 50 times more detailed than any data gathered to date.
Well, that works. Most people think they know what happens to raccoons because they're in their backyard. But what happens when they're not in the backyard? So where do they go? Where do they sleep? Where do they find water? What's their territory size like? There's all sorts of questions and nobody knows what the answers are.
A specially trained vet is called in to sedate the raccoons.
So she's a girl, and you see she's a mom.
Okay, part 1 of Mark Shark Out thing, food challenge, done. Calories are already affecting my brain, can't talk. Okay, I'm gonna go have a coma nap, and we'll be back for lunch. Okay, bye.